Hey there, gang. It is time for a new comic book unboxing video, and do not let Pennywise there frighten you away. Nothing to fear, nothing to be afraid of. 2022 is going to be great and comic-alicious. So, if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghala. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video, and I'm hopeful that this time it's going to go right. This is about the fourth take. I've been having problems with the iPad here, and I've told you in the recent past that I'm having issues with the battery. It's an old iPad, and the battery is kind of dead. But these last couple of attempts here, the camera's clicked off all by itself, or the whole thing's just shut down, even though it's plugged in. So I don't know what's going on. I may have to invest in a new iPad or go through the whole rigmarole of getting a new battery put in, or maybe it's time to just break down and get an actual camera for filming these videos. So if you are a YouTuber, if you've got a camera that you prefer or something that you would like to recommend, please, by all means, do so in the comments below. Or you can email me, duke@shanghala.com. That'll work. But other than that, let's hope things last this time. I do have to tell you that normally I say I don't peek, and I don't. I have no idea what's in the box until I break into it once I turn the camera on. But in this case, because I've made a couple of attempts at filming this video already, I've seen pretty much all of the books in here. So there won't be much of a surprise for me, but I think it's going to be some treats for you. I can let you know up front that it's pretty much all Silver Age DC, few Silver Age Marvel, some Archie Adventure series, and even a few random Dells. So it's a good box. It's gonna be a good time. So please do like, share, subscribe, comment away, do all the groovy things, and let us blow right through this so that hopefully the camera and the battery will last. So I guess we're gonna be going from back to front this time. Because these on the first run through, these were the last books in the box. This is an early adventure comics, issue 308, The Strange Return of Lightning Lad. Spoiler, wasn't Lightning Lad, it was his sister in disguise, his hitherto unknown twin sister, Isla Rands, the erstwhile Lightning Lass, sometimes just Light Lass. But this is her first appearance in here. Not on the cover. Superboy still had the lead spot at this point. Here's an early Marvel book, Fantastic Four 27. Got a big old spine split down here. Lots of roughage on the spine, but look at that. It's an early crossover appearance of Doctor Strange. Here's the Mandarin in Tales of Suspense number 54. That's a nice book. Very, very nice. Back to Adventure Comics. We've got Superboy still in the lead spot. This is issue 309, but inside it's the first appearance of Jungle King and a bunch of his bestial buddies. Earthquake Beast, Mirror Monster, Omnibeast, and dun-dun, the Driller. Let's see. That's one I had taken out of the bag. Why did I take this one out of the bag? Oh, it's because it's issue 310. I couldn't remember who was in it. Now, sometimes the Legion would get the front spot based on feedback. It would kind of go back and forth for a while before they finally took over the book more or less entirely. But this was an appearance by Mr. Mask, or Mask Man. I forget which it was. But at any rate, he was, spoiler, Mr. Mixtelplix, Mixtelflix, however you want to say it's fine with me, 30th century descendant of the devilish little imp, and an evil one at that. He killed some of the Legion, but then his magic was undone, and they came back. Now, this one is interesting on a couple of levels. This is Adventure Comics number 311, early appearance by the Legion of Substitute Heroes. I think this is the one in which the Legion discovers the Substitute Legion's existence. They had operated before this in secret. But also, this is kind of funny. This is Starboy, and Starboy had made an appearance way back in Adventure Comics 282, and in one panel it showed him being a member of the Legion of Superheroes. Well, when the Legion finally got their own series, starting in Adventure Comics 300, he was nowhere to be seen. And the readers had to write in and say, hey, you forgot somebody. I know it's a Legion of Superheroes, but we've kept count, and we know who they all are, and you're missing one. And so he only appears just on the cover of this issue. He's not actually in the story, which sort of indicates to me that maybe the cover was produced afterwards. Not sure. The cover is an exact duplicate of the splash page, so I don't know. But interestingly, when he appeared, because again, he's not in this issue, it would be a few more issues before he finally appeared. And when he reappeared, he had different powers than he had initially had. Initially, he had all the same powers as Superboy, except he also had electrical vision. And copper was the one thing he couldn't see through. He could see through lead, which was Superboy's one big weakness there as far as vision powers go. And so when he reappeared, he had the power now to induct mass. He could make things super heavy. And my presumption, because it wasn't really explained in the stories, why that change occurred. And my presumption is that, by this time he was considered not just a duplicate of Superboy, but also of Mon-El and Ultra Boy. Not quite yet, but in a couple of issues, Ultra Boy is going to start getting all kinds of superpowers. Initially, he only had supervision, what he called Penetra vision. But anyway, Starboy would end up having all different powers, and it would be until the 80s before they really explained how that change happened, at least sort of in continuity. This is a classic issue, classic cover. You gotta love that. And this is the return of Lightning Lad, where he is brought back to life in a way with ramifications that, again, as with Starboy's powers, would pay off narratively like 30, 40 years later when other writers came along and kind of came up with new and creative ways of looking at what was simply kind of a fun little straight ahead story. But this was one of the first running subplots in comic books. Lightning Lad died in issue 304, and then they had a couple of, I won't say revival attempts, but the Legion was looking for ways to bring him back to life. And then we had the first appearance of Lightning Lass, as we saw, that was part of that saga. And then finally here in 312, they bring him back. Issue 313, and this is an early use of Curt Swan on the pencils. Initially, the Legion series was penciled by John Fort. It's Fort with an E on the end. I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Forte, but I've always said Fort. That's how I've always heard other people say it. And John Fort had a kind of a quirky, static style that worked really well with the mystery, horror, and romance things that he did over at Marvel. But when Marvel nearly collapsed around 1957, known as Atlas then, he kind of was thrown to the wolves, ended up at DC, and his style really didn't work real well with the Legion, although it has a real quirky charm that I love looking back on it today. But you have to admit that in a super scientific world, his style was just kind of odd, an odd pairing. And after he died, he would die young. I forget what the cause was. But he passed away and Curt Swan would take over. But this is an early fill-in issue by Swan. It's also an appearance by Supergirl with the Legion, which, but for a few of the early stories, although she was a member, she rarely would appear alongside the Legion. And here is another issue. This one looks like it's got some water damage up here, unfortunately. So this other issue is actually in better condition, except that it's got that arrival date written in there with what looks like a grease pencil. This issue is crazy because, so this guy, this is Adventure 314. This guy, I forget his name, Alector or something like that. He gets rejected from membership in the Legion, and you think he would have, being a self-proclaimed brilliant scientist, he would have realized that, hey, I'm an adult. The Legion is all teenagers. They might have a rule against admitting adults. The over 18 rule? Maybe I shouldn't even bother. But he did apply. He got rejected. And naturally, as villains were wont to do at that time, he swore revenge, got a time bubble, went back in time, and got these three guys. And under these hoods, we have, if I remember correctly, Nero, Dillinger, and Adolf Hitler. So if you're looking for, right, if what's really going to flip your switch is a legion of superhero stories in which they fight Adolf Hitler, by golly, here it is. And actually, they don't fight Hitler. He gets mind swapped. So it's actually Hitler in, I think it's Superboy's body. I forget which villain ended up in which hero. But the other interesting thing about this is they gave Ultra Boy a bunch of powers at this time. And as I noted earlier, initially his only power was what he called Penetra Vision. He could see through lead. That was his big thing. But they gave him a bunch of other powers, and then the readers were like, what are you doing? And so a couple issues later, they had to explain how that all happened. Here's issue 315. This is actually Colossal Boy, spoiler, in disguise as Superboy, helping to preserve his secret identity. Issue 320, this is an appearance by Dev-Em, the knave from Krypton, a juvenile delinquent who survived Krypton's explosion because, frankly, in the Silver Age, everybody survived Krypton's explosion. And he gave Superboy quite a hassle until he went to the future and reformed here in the 30th century. But as you can see on the cover here, they really weren't buying it just yet. This is Adventure Comics 327, the first appearance of Timberwolf as Lone Wolf at this point. He would then not appear until issue 372, when he would actually join the Legion, at that time again as Timberwolf. And he's been one of the more popular members over the years. So that's his first appearance. Here is The Lad Who Wrecked the Legion. And this is an appearance by, there he is, that is Command Kid. The thing about Command Kid is that along with Dynamo Boy and False Pretenses Lad, I didn't notice this big old stain right there of some kind. There was quite a spate of spies and infiltrators and things like that, Legion traitors. That was a big trope with the Legion, though. One of us is a traitor. And sometimes it would be one of the regular members would be suspected of being a traitor, but oftentimes it was some new member who was actually a traitor. Oh, no. And this is the last issue before the Legion appeared in Adventure Comics, or before they sort of got their own series. It's issue 299. With issue 300, the Legion would take over the backup feature from Tales of Bizarro World. And as we noted, they would soon take over the entire book. And this was a popular trope at the time. The Silver Age was just lousy with babies. Everybody was forever being turned into a baby, especially in the Superman books. Or Superman was appearing, when he was a baby, as in this issue. And so I don't know. Mort Weisinger must have just noticed that the sales went up whenever there was a baby cover, or maybe he got lots of fan mail asking about baby versions, or just the kids in his neighborhood who were asking him questions. I don't know, but lots of babies back then. All right, we'll keep on trucking. Spaceman, that's a Dell book, and that's a popular book. That should do well, which is surprising because it's kind of generic. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, does well, but this is just Spaceman, and it does pretty well. Superman Annual number 8, and this is a sort of a visual trope. It's from Adventure Comics 300 when the Legion series began in Adventure Comics, and it had this layout on the cover, and it would be used again and again throughout DC history. Different things in the boxes, of course, but that same layout, 3, 1, and 3, on the cover. So it's become kind of a visual trope in and of itself. And here we have, this is actually 80-page Giant. And we've talked about this before in past issues, and it uses the same layout here, except it's 2, 1 and 2 instead of 3. But this is 80-page Giant issue number 6. 80-page Giant is a series would last 15 issues, and then they would use the format as special issues of regular series. Now, you can sometimes get confused because those kind of look almost the same, but always check your indicia if you're in any doubt. And here you can see down here it says Superman Annual number 8, and here it says 80-page Giant number 6. All right. This is Dell Giant number 52. Dell Giant is the actual name of the series. This one's in pretty nice shape. And this series featured different characters every issue in some particular kind of situation. And in this case, it's Donald and the boys at the Dude Ranch. Here's an issue of Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge does pretty well for us. This is a later Gold Key issue, so it's probably reprinting an earlier Dell story, frankly. Here's another Gold Key one. And it's the Dell ones, the early Dell issues that do better than the Gold Keys. Here's a Dell issue of Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 256. Appropriate for the season. Like, instead of a carrot nose, he's got a kind of a wooden duckbill there, which is makes sense. Detective Comics number 319, Mr. No Face. Oh, excuse me, Dr. No Face. Sorry, didn't mean to forget your title there. The Mummy Batman. So, what do you think of that? It's number 320. Herbie from the American Comics Group, number 2. Herbie was super popular for a while with collectors in around the 90s or so, around the turn of the millennium. Less so today. This one probably won't do all that great on eBay. I think that's because most of the people who were really into Herbie have started dying off. And the new readers, the new collectors, really, they don't know who he is. But this was really a prized parody of the day by Ogden Whitney. So do yourself a favor, go out and research Herbie and fall in love with Herbie. So those issues will go back up in price. Here's an appearance by Ace the Bat Hound in Batman number 158. Showcase number 37, an early appearance of the Metal Men. And the Metal Men were quite popular in their day. Detective Comics number 315 with the Batmobile getting wiped out by a giant rhino. And this is Jungle Man. The Legion had Jungle King. Batman fought Jungle Man. We've seen this one a lot recently in various unboxings. This is Batwoman appearing as Catwoman. Catwoman herself didn't appear all that often in the Silver Age. And this is, Catman's third or fourth or fifth appearance. And again, there was a Holyoke superhero, Holyoke being the publisher company during the Golden Age, who had a superhero Catman. And that company, when all of the other comic book companies folded in the early 50s, not all but most, Holyoke went away, Catman went away, and DC brought him back as a villain. Didn't really bring him back. They just, started using a character that looked exactly like Catman. But was, seriously, just a different character who just happens to look the same. But he was a villain. The original one was a hero. Journey into Mystery. This is a nice early issue with the Carbon Copy Man. So apparently that's Michael Keaton under there. I don't know. What is that? That's issue number 90. So that's nice. Tales of Suspense with the Origin of Captain America, number 63. The Flash, number 137. This is an important issue. It's an early appearance in the Silver Age of Jay Garrick, the Golden Age Flash. But this also, I think, it's got Vandal Savage, and I think this is the first Justice Society appearance in the Silver Age. A couple members come back. I forget who. Let's open it up and take a look. We'll do that. I don't mind. I don't mind showing you. Let's see who it is. I really can't remember. So there's the Flash, and they had only recently introduced the concept of Earth 2, and here you can see Barry kind of reminiscing, because on his world, the Earth 2 heroes are just the subject of comic books that he had read when he was a kid. So who shows up? Vandal Savage, and I was certain there were a couple. Well, here's some statues. Who actually shows up? Come on, don't make me a liar. Thought there were some Legion. What am I saying? Some Justice Society members. Maybe not. Oh, I did. I totally lied to you. Well, here they are. Here they are. There's a bunch of them appearing. So I think maybe this is the first Justice Society appearance. I don't know. I'll have to research it. I'll let you know on the screen below. But I thought there was an issue where it was just a couple of them. That was the whole team. Here we have an early JLA JSA team-up, number 22 of Justice League. Issue 17, and you may not know, because it was kind of actually ignored in later years, but this character here, the Tornado Tyrant, is sort of a living wind entity. And back around the 80s, early mid-80s, I think it's Justice League of America number 193, they revealed that this is the entity living inside Red Tornado that gives him sentience. I think they later dropped that, but it was quite a revelation at the time. Green Lantern number 16. Is this the first Star Sapphire? It can't be. If it was, I would have thought that would have gone straight to CGC. It must be like her second appearance. I don't know. I'll look it up. It's an early one. Anyway, My Greatest Adventure. Speaking of early, this is an early appearance of the Doom Patrol, still in their green togs. This one switches gears a little bit. Amazing Spider-Man 171. That's a definite Bronze Age book. Quite near the end of the Bronze Age. Almost Copper Age. Go-Go checks, but the big thing about this is the famous Flash breaking the fourth wall cover. Very popular, very iconic. Here's the Atom doing his Atom thing. The Atom didn't get really a lot of supervillains. Gardner Fox just didn't really seem as into the supervillains with the Atom as he was in other places. Now, in the first go-through of this box that I mentioned, I had to do a double take on this one. It's not often I see something I've never ever seen before, but I have no idea who Clyde Crashcup is. Have you ever heard of Clyde Crashcup? Was this a regular thing? Is this from some other media or source? Was this maybe his only appearance? I have no idea. And is Clyde this guy or this guy? Because this looks like a Clyde to me. But this guy's definitely going to go Crashcup here in just a second. So I don't know. And here is Adventures of the Fly from the Archie Adventure series. This was the Silver Age attempt to revive the Golden Age characters who appeared at MLJ Publications before it became Archie Comics. And some of these early issues were actually written by Superman co-creator Jerry Siegel. So you want to look for those. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which ones, but some of them. And here's the Fly with Fly Girl, and looks like a horse of many colors. I don't know. Horse of Horrors. The Horror Horse. There you go. That's something we could use today. Horror Horse. Here's the Fly actually riding a fly. I guess if Ant-Man can ride ants, then the Fly can ride a fly. There's some creepy fly eyes, though, aren't they? Wow. And there's Fly Girl again. Well, gang, the iPad did in fact hold on until the end of the box, but the video went on another 20 minutes or so from here. So, in order to not try your patience too awful much, we're going to chop things off at this point. Please do come back tomorrow when we'll finish things off. I'll show you what was in the rest of this box. And until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.